Incredible! This is
The Grove Podcast.
Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to episode 142 of The Grove Podcast. Now, thank you for listening. It's Sunday, the morning after the day before, and I guess we're all feeling a bit meh. I know I certainly still am, and look, I've been out for my morning run with my non-footballing mates. I've tried to clear my head, tried to forget about the game, and nope, that didn't help. I was a miserable git. I hardly spoke, which didn't go unnoticed, and I couldn't stop thinking of the game. And as I said in the last pod, the 12:30 kickoff, if you lose that on the Saturday, it just ruins the whole weekend. It puts a downer on it. But, however, looking on the upside, we're still top of the league. It's only our second defeat of the season in 15 games, and we're still doing better than the Man City Centurions did in the similar stage when they did that. And in reality, it was only 1 point dropped. Okay, so if we look at it in that context, and we can still laugh a little at Chelsea and Liverpool, so it's not all bad, is it? So anyway, as they say, misery loves company, and that company today is a last-minute replacement for the Grove's very own co-hosts who are all unavailable. They're not injured; they just got other things, family stuff and all that jazz. So we have Holly from the North Bank Pod joining me today. Holly, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm your Trossard for the day. Just roll me out for 30 minutes. I'll score a blinder and then I'll disappear back off to the bench.
That's it. If you do well enough, you might be more regular. But anyway, great. I appreciate that. Even though
Can I just say we're not top. We're top.
We're top.
2 leagues.
2 leagues. Oh, yes, we are indeed. We will talk about Champions League. We'll get to it later. So yeah, we're top. Very good. And we're doing better in that league. Maybe we should just stay in Europe. All this, forget the domestic stuff. And look, I know you forget, but I'm not going to forget. Where can people find and listen to you on a more regular basis after they've listened to The Grove, of course? But obviously, where can they listen to the North Bank Pod?
It's the North Bank Pod everywhere, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts at North Bank Pod. I think I've got that right. Steph will be correcting me if I haven't. At North Bank Pod. There you go.
Let me check your business card. Yes, it is at North Bank Pod, all one word. You can even email them at hello@northbankafc.com, and yeah, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads, X, Cloud Signals, all the rest of it. You can find them. So yeah, once you've had a listen to us, have a listen to Holly, Steph, and Chris. It's a worthwhile and quite fun. So there you go. Anyway, enough promotion of that. That's the only reason I get you come onto these.
That's my job done now.
It's your job done. All 10 of our listeners will be signing up and subscribing. So anyway, before we get onto Arsenal and talking about laughing at Liverpool, did you see the Salah quotes? Did you see all that coming out last night?
I mean, it's quite interesting because for some reason on my TikTok feed, I get a couple of Liverpool pods. And a few weeks ago, they were saying, isn't it really interesting how quiet Salah is being? And these are proper Liverpool fans. And their point was that all throughout last season, when it was the contract, I don't know, the club haven't offered me a contract. I don't know what's happening. I love this club. He was the first one to front and centre after matches. He was there. But then Liverpool are crap at the start of the season. Now for the first 10, 12 games of the season, silence. Because he's playing. He's part of it. The second he's benched, and here he is again. Moan. I mean, I really do. He's making it all about himself. I mean, it's bloody hilarious from an outsider's perspective. But wow, yeah, proper meltdown. I mean, is it the worst defence ever of a title?
It's something like that. And look, they are imploding. It's funny. And you saw last night, they're 2-0 up. Oh, God, what's the point? And then
I turned off. I
didn't even turn on. I was making dinner or doing something else. And then sort of 2-2 and then 3-2. Oh, for God's sake. And then I just could not believe seeing it 3-3. The only thing I'm loving it and it's very funny and I'm here for it, whatever. And look, they may even struggle to get into Europe at this stage. The fact that they've won Champions League and leagues recently doesn't mean I can go full throttle on the Schadenfreude. I mean, I do it because I need to make myself feel better. But you just know if you come up when it came up in a conversation with them and a proper conversation, they would be
we lose that one. We lose
absolutely.
that conversation. That's fine.
Absolutely. Anyway, that's enough Liverpool chat. But thank you for taking the heat off Arsenal, because it could have otherwise it would have been all about Arsenal's.
It did cheer me up a little bit yesterday evening. I must not lie.
Which we needed, and alongside Chelsea's title challenge falling away.
Well, after they beat us 1-1 with 10 men.
Exactly, and Caicedo. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you're a dirty, thuggy prick. But there we go. Moving on. Right. So, and look, you can say that on this show because we don't have school kids listening.
Yeah, so we don't swear. We're PG.
You're PG. No, we're very much not. So you can go for your life. Anyway, so in today's show, we will pick the bones out of that painful away defeat to Villa. Hopefully, providing a bit of catharsis. We'll have more of our listener and follower 3-word reviews, including some infiltration from Villa fans. And then if we have time, well, I certainly will, but if we have time, we'll do a quick preview of the Bruges game. And given how much we know about Bruges, that will be very quick. As always, my chance to promote. If you can leave us a nice little 5-star rating, comment on the pod apps, that would be great. And you can find us at the Grove AFC on the usual socials, and find us, connect, engage. We love hearing from you, and thank you to those who already do. Right, enough of that. Arsenal 2. No, not Arsenal 2. Sorry, Aston Villa 2.
Wishful thinking.
I was just thinking last year. Aston Villa 2.
That was my prediction, 2-1.
Aston Villa 2. Arsenal 1. As always, what was your highlight, if you can find one, and low light from yesterday's game?
Okay, well, the highlight did take quite a degree of thought. And I think it has to be Odegaard's performance. I think he was a real bright spot in the game. I mean, I was a bit critical in our instant reaction pod of his ability to find the goalkeeper every time he shoots. But then I caught myself because he had 3 decent opportunities, and, he's missed a lot of time. And I think that 90 minutes would have been really, really significant for him and for us moving forward. So, I mean, Odegaard's return, Odegaard's performance yesterday, I guess, was my highlight.
Okay, and before we get to your low light, talking to Odegaard, because I've got here in terms of players to discuss, and why not? Do you feel that it forced us to be more right side dominant? So the 3 musketeers were back with Ben White, Saka, and Odegaard. So we sort of back to that old last season, past 2 seasons, and do you think he's potentially stepping on Zubi's shoes, coming too deep? Could he not be further? You see his heat map, and it's all right side. It's obviously darker the further up towards the pitch and the goal where he is, but you can see he's often picking up the ball from the centre backs. He's driving the ball forward, which it takes longer while with it rather than passing it. Would you not maybe prefer that sort of heat map to be? And I'm trying to do a visual thing on a non-visual medium, but would rather that be a horizontal, so it's across the sort of middle third of the Villa pitch rather than vertical on the sort of right hand side of Arsenal's pitch. Do you not feel that? Yes, it's great to see him back, and he's a very good player and integral. But do you think he maybe needs to adapt to how we've evolved without him?
I don't think you can ignore game state.
Okay,
we were lacking control in the Chelsea game, maybe less so in the Brentford game, but that's a different kettle of fish. And certainly yesterday, we had no control over the game. And Villa's tactic was to bypass midfield. Yeah. And so the only way Odegaard could try and see some semblance of control, because we had no control in the Chelsea game, was to drop deeper and pick it up. I think that might have been why he did that. Yes, of course, I think he's far more effective in that final third with his little slide rule pass, the way he can open up his quick feet, his vision. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, I don't know why. I'm certainly no tactician. I don't know why we didn't have as much control, and it might be because Saliba and Gabriel's absence means that someone like Rice is dropping a little bit deeper, as to offer a degree more protection for the 2 central defenders. I don't know. I mean, yesterday our fullbacks were, well, they weren't. They were fullback in name only, and we got caught out on the first Villa goal because unfortunately Eze's not as defensive minded as our other options at that left-sided position. And he I don't know where Calafiori was. Do you know what? I purposely haven't watched any of the goals again. I don't need to. Death by a thousand
they were
cuts.
shit and they all went in.
Yeah, and so, but there was a big gaping hole behind where Calafiori vacated. I don't know was his vacation warranted or not, but Eze didn't cover him, and Cash got in blindside of him, and we were 1-0 down. And it had happened a few minutes earlier, where was it Rice put in a fantastic block. So I don't know. I don't know whether the pressure that you have to give credit to Villa.
Yeah, of course.
Villa Park and Aston Villa at Villa Park are a pretty spectacular home record they've got. I mean, they beat City this season. They beat PSG. They beat a very good PSG 3-2 in the quarterfinal of the Champions League last season. And they were having been 2-0 down in the game. You get Villa on momentum, on a bit of form, on fire, and they're a tough beast. So we're going to have to be more defensive minded. We will invariably automatically drop deeper. So I'm just looking at Odegaard. I don't know, but he still managed to have three shots saved yesterday.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that one in the God, I was I thought it was going in. It was sort of was it? It was in the where is it? I've got it here. Yeah, in the 70th minute, and Martinez. Yeah, what a save!
Even that, I thought that was much better. Yeah. I thought it was in the corner, but it wasn't. It was right over the goalkeeper's head. Oh, okay. If that was a yard to Odegaard's left, Martinez's right, that's top corner, and that's a goal. Now, I'm not. You know, that's some pretty perfection required to get that in the top corner from there. But it seemed yesterday was just frustrating because I knew we weren't playing well, and you say 70th minute.
Yeah. Anyway, look, I don't want to turn your highlight into a low light. I think it's good to have him back. I just think we need to. I think we need to work out how we play with him and the likes of Zubimendi in the team, because it feels like sometimes they're stepping on each other's toes or they're in the same space, and maybe if he vacates it, it puts more pressure on the opposition rather than it makes it easier for us to defend. But I think he's back. He had a good night. He had a good minutes against Chelsea. He had a good. Well, he had a lot of minutes yesterday. You know, good minutes in him yesterday. So I think it can only sort of bode well for him in the future and the team. What about your low light of the potential many? Okay,
yeah. So I've ignored the timing of the winning goal because I figured that's an obvious low light, and it ties in with something you just said about our right hand side, and my low light is potentially the looming fear that we haven't sorted our left side out. It's Eze out left was, I think Steph said, the more Eze plays on the left, the less I want him to play on the left. Okay. And that's not his natural position. I know he has played there for Palace, but he's a lot more effective centrally, and he was ineffective centrally against Chelsea. But Martinelli, Trossard, who is our left-sided player? So ignoring the obvious low light of losing the game and the timing of that final goal, just that left-hand side, Trossard came on and was far more effective in his 25, 30 minutes, whatever it was, before going off again. And Martinelli just didn't have, again, game state. We had no control. Martinelli had nothing to feed on going forward. So I don't, and it kind of, have we still got an issue with our striker? It's just that those two areas we spent a lot of money on, and then I clicked on the 3:00 kickoffs and Semenyo scored. I know it was disallowed for offside. Semenyo scored after 3 minutes, and I'm thinking, was he the answer all along? So anyway, my low lights, the left-hand side possibly not performing to the level of the right-hand side.
The thing is that, but up until yesterday, our left-hand side with Trossard has been relatively effective, or we found a shape. Again, we haven't been so right-side dominant. We've been across the park more, and again, but that's when Odegaard's been out, Eze's been more central, and you have Merino there. Merino drops into midfield, and you've got Saka coming into centre forward. You've got Trossard going into centre forward. So it never became a thing. And then Calafiori has been doing Calafiori things, so you can't really call him left hand side because I don't know how much time he spends on the left. So I think it's more. I think it's a more combination of Eze just seemed off it yesterday, slipping over quite a lot. He just, asleep for the goal. Now I don't know whether if you're not getting the ball. Now, is this tactical, as in, no, I want you to stay left and it's down to Rice and Merino and Odegaard to find him? Or is it, well, I'm not getting the ball, I'm going to go and find it, but then he's vacating his position. But it's not that he was doing a huge amount of defensive work anyway, so I would expect him to say, right, I need to get into this game more. And I think the left-hand side, it was a low light, but I think that's just, again, it's more down to the player. And you think, he's how much time has he had to spend playing left-hand side versus in the middle? So again, it's maybe one of those ones, the more he plays there, the better he'll get, because I think when he first started in the middle, he wasn't particularly great. He was very low touch, and it wasn't until the Tottenham game and then the games afterwards that all of a sudden it started to happen. So maybe everyone's got to learn how to work with him on the left-hand side, because he's not Nelly and he's not Trossard. So I think it's a combination of Eze being off.
But zoom out.
Yeah.
The issue with the left-hand side is like historical for us. And up until 4 or 5 games ago, Trossard was not your first choice for. So you can't name reference Trossard as a solution to the left-hand side. He's not. He's been brilliant the last 4 or 5. Our best player the last 4 or 5 games that he played. Absolutely. And he completely kind of transformed my view of him. As I mean, at various points this season, in the first few games, I was like, Trossard should never start another game for us. He should always come off the bench. He's a much better impact player. But he given a run of games, and he actually started delivering and important goals. And I'm like, okay, no, he starts. But he starts. Martinelli then became effective because of the competition. Eze out there, none of them have grabbed that left-hand side. Like Madueke on the left-hand side just is not the player, not the player that Madueke is on the right-hand side. So we've got 4 options in that left-hand side, but none of them grab it like Saka grabs the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And that's what you spend a lot of money, and that's what you want. That's what I wanted. I wanted that left-hand player that would grab that left-hand side. No, we were linked.
I guess it's something for Arteta to sort out. Again, I'm going to be a bit more forgiving, just because, again, we a lot through the season, we're trying to mix and match. We never, at no point has he had, right, this is what I want, because he's always having to sort of make do around the place. And I think that always has knock-on effects. Look,
do you know what he wants?
Well, no, I don't know. I got a feeling he knows what he wants. I just don't think he's had a chance to implement it. Well, I don't know, because I'm not Arteta. So I have no idea. You're right. I think it's Eze. I think Eze is the one to be there. I think Eze can do what Trossard does, but maybe potentially better. Okay. But I think he has to get into that role and play more minutes and work his way into it. Whereas Trossard comes on, he knows what he's doing. He's got a certain attitude about him. He's got, maybe this is my last chance, saloon sort of mentality around that. So therefore, he's stepped up. And through seasons, you find your players come in, players go. But I think Eze is the solution, because otherwise, that's where I think he's good. Because I don't think you've seen Arteta straight as soon as Odegaard's fit, he comes in, he plays. So I think Eze is a good backup for Odegaard, and we can play differently. But I think the long-term solution is Eze out there. We just need to give him a run of games there, which he's just not had. So that would be it, and drum into him. You don't fucking fall asleep at the far post. Yeah, he'll soon. He knowed he made a mistake, and he won't be making that mistake ever again. So that's what
we hope not.
We hope not. So, okay. So in terms of, in my highlight, and look, it was a struggle. But there was a simple one, obviously Leo's goal and performance. But I'm going to call out Arsenal support. And as you're watching on TV, you could hear them all game, very loud, very good. I've had the privilege of going with the away games in them, and they are fantastic away support. And given how up for it Villa were and the fans were, and they tried to make a big deal out of it, I think our away support was fantastic throughout the whole game. My low light, I am going to go route one. Just not clearing the ball, just boot it. The Buendia goal, last kick of the game, and it's so gutting, and the feeling, and it's just like, and it was so unnecessary on so many levels, that goal, and it's amazing the knock-on effect, the domino effect. So it all stems from Madueke and a poor what he did on the far post. So Rice did a great cross. Gyökeres was on his heels, but even then Madueke's there. One, why are you not going across goal? Why are you near post? Two, if you're not sure, if you're that Saka, trap it, come in and get it onto your left foot and do it that way. Or don't sort of lazily hit it near post. I tried. That was so poor. So then, and this is like in the 93rd minute with 30 seconds to go. So they get their goal kit, and then it ends up with Hincapié having to cover on the right side of defence. So something's obviously wrong there. The fact that he's the one having to cover that role, he sort of miscontrols it, puts it out for a throw rather than booting it upfield. Whistle goes, end of story, shake hands, and he's knackered and blah blah blah. There's a gap there, and then obviously the third thing. I looked back at this goal, and it was sort of like, oh my god, it was actually heroic defending, and that ball could have gone anywhere. It could have just slid out wide. It could have trapped under someone. There could have been a melee, and it would be like whatever. But it ends up Buendia. He's just right man, right place. And when was the last time you saw Arsenal concede a goal like that? It just never happens. It just shows where we are at the moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, thanks for talking me through that freaking goal. I haven't watched it then. I have no idea what you're talking about. Any of those things. I do remember the miss, and Arteta referenced it in his post-match presser as well. He wasn't pleased with that, and even Gyökeres could have made a go for it centrally. It was a fantastic ball across.
Oh yes.
But yeah, it's probably the goal that you could put down to the absence of Gabriel and or Saliba. Wouldn't have happened had one of those two been in there. But you never know. Goal math scrambles.
Yeah, but when was the last time Arsenal had something like that? In terms of, we'll get to it in a minute. Okay, look, we'll get to overall performance in a minute. So before we do that, before the game, the lineups we were wondering if Saliba would be back, but I guess there's no point risking him from one game if you lose him for six, especially given the state of where we are now. Timber at right centre back. He played there for Ajax, played there for Netherlands. No problem. Right back was Ben White. Can he do two back-to-back 90s? He was fatiguing second half versus Brentford. Odegaard central, Eze at left. Rice was fit. That was the one thing that we were hoping for, and Trossard returned to the bench. So, what did you make with that lineup? Were you expecting anything different? Were you fine with it?
It's a lineup I predicted, and I know that in hindsight, I've seen lots of people online complain about the lineup and the tactics in hindsight. But you come up with the three of us on our pod. We pretty much all predicted that lineup. We had Eze wide left, but I had for my wide left Trossard if he's fit to start. Would have been my first choice, which says something. But I did an option from one from three: Eze, Trossard, and Martinelli. And I figured he'd go with Eze because that's kind of why we bought him.
Yeah.
The rest of the team picked itself.
Yeah.
With the players that were available. So I don't have the tactics within that for the fullbacks to bomb on quite so much was a bit curious. But he made a double change at half time, so fair play.
Yeah,
we had an exchange in our WhatsApp group. I said at halftime, I think he'll change it, and Steph said, "No, he won't. He won't. He won't change." I said, "Well, no, he might," and he ended up making a double change. Now, Martinelli is the one I would have brought on for the pace, instead of Trossard, but I didn't know how fit Trossard was. But I didn't have an issue with it. I just knew that who did he hook? Eze and Marino.
Yeah, Eze
came
and
off,
Marino.
and
Yeah.
Gyökeres.
And look, he doesn't pick that team thinking, oh, they're not going to perform. He has a tactic in mind. He has a plan. He's got his plan. He wants to impose our game on them. So he's not expecting Eze to drop a stinker. So so you could.
Marino was.
Well, this wasn't Marino's game. And look, not knocking, just the way Villa played and stuff. So maybe this is something about the tactics as well. This really wasn't a Marino style game. And as well, Marino's been working with a certain formation. So again, with Trossard on the left, or it's Trossard on the left, Saka on the right, and Eze in the middle, sort of being a number 10. Now you take that out and you change that formation. Marino is not the same player in that formation. He becomes more of a sort of a traditional centre forward. So it's and this is where maybe then tactically. You think I think you're right. I would have said the same. Get him in there. He's been playing well. He's been scoring goals. We needed his height, his physicality. We don't know what sort of state Gyökeres is in still. But again, I think in hindsight, you think, was this the sort of game he's playing with our formation, with who Villa are, with the fact that we can get in behind?
But he changed at half time, and we were much better for the first 15 minutes of the second half.
We were indeed. So on that, in terms of the overall game and statistically, this was one of the worst games we've had, particularly from a defensive performance. But overall, we had more 53% possession to their 4.7. We only had 1.92 XG to their 2.16. I've seen 2.27 elsewhere. We both had 15 shots. We had 9 on target to their 6. They had 5 big chances to our 4. We missed 3 of our big chances to their 4. But a couple of things that really, really stood out is that we've given up 7.2 XG throughout the whole season. Okay, that's across the whole season. Yesterday, it was like 2.16, 2.27 for one game. So that's like a third of our whole XG in the whole season in one game, which is not an Arsenal thing that we do. It's the worst XG we've had against us since the Man United game. And I think the other one I got from Opta Analyst was today was just the second time this season that Arsenal have conceded 1+ expected goals in the Premier League game. Again, Man United on the beginning of the season. So those statistics, I think, tell a story, and that for me, that story is that when you're missing the 2 best centre backs in the world, who are primary players, who are central to everything you do, and everyone's going to be thinking, oh, defending. They're more than there's just that. You miss them in attack, you miss in defence, but also our build-up play starts with Raya, Saliba, and Gabriel, and you take 2 out of the 3 out of that. It just has a knock-on effect throughout the whole pitch, as well as the defending at set pieces. And the fact that we're not scoring from set pieces is just a massive, massive loss. So it goes to show that injury. You can only do so much with a team when you keep getting players injured. I don't know. How did you feel about the game as a whole, the performance as a whole, and just in general how it turned out?
Well, I thought it was. I think you have to credit Villa.
Yeah,
that's your starting point. You have to credit Villa. We are at the end. We've just come to the end of a really tough sequence of games: away in Sunderland, away Chelsea, home Spurs, home Bayern Munich, away Villa. That's tough. Injuries. Yeah, it's not just the players we're missing; it's the players coming back are not match fit. So we're compensating for that also, perhaps. First half I thought was okay. I wasn't losing my shit like some people were about the first half performance.
That was very
even. I thought it was okay. It was, yes, I took a screenshot of the half-time match stats, and it was pretty much, if the teams had come in at 0-0 or 1-1, it would have been completely mirroring what the stats were telling us. But we came in a goal down, obviously. He made changes and we were better. And we got back into it. But a bit like the Sunderland away game, when we got back into it, the first half performance away at Sunderland was awful. It was far, far worse than yesterday's performance. But the second half performance, well, from 45 to 74 minutes at Sunderland, whatever time Trossard got the second goal, we created enough chances to win several games. It was just brilliant. But then at that point, we just stopped. And we just invited them onto us. Now, I don't think that happened yesterday. I think Villa wrestled control of the game back.
It was like from 60, 65 onwards, wasn't it? We had the first 15, 20 minutes, and then
it was Villa. And my pre-game prediction of 2-1, I was still sticking with it up until about 75, 80 minute. The 80-minute mark, I could see the writing on the wall. I was like, no, do you know what? I'll take the draw now.
It was like the Sunderland game. You could just see, we were just...
Yeah, but I was thinking we need to kick on. We need to kick on. Because we had done it. Whereas Villa are a much stronger team at home than Sunderland. And no disrespect to Sunderland, but, and I was just like, do you know what? If we get out of here with a draw now, I think that's fair. I think that's good. I viewed the Chelsea point as a point gained as well. I didn't see that as 2 points dropped. And maybe I'm just like all about self-preservation and maintaining some semblance of decent mental health. But in the group chat, in the Grove group chat, I was the one. Would you take a draw? Would you take a draw? And no one was taking the draw. And I'm like going, I'm taking the draw here. The signs At what point were you saying that?
I'm saying, I think it was 65 minutes. It was literally when Villa started to take it back. So you could just see it coming. I would think, And look, I think we sort of went for it. If you look at what Calafiori and White were doing, they weren't like sitting back. There were moments there, they would be still going forward. It's not like we said, right, we'll shut up shop. So I think as a team, we did still try and go for it. And we had that mentality. It's just that then that cost us, as in we lose that solidity at the back. But no, Villa
Villa, you got Villa are 3 points behind us in the league. Yeah. Considering they didn't score a goal for their first 4 games, they're on a ridiculous run.
Those underlying metrics, mate.
No, it doesn't matter. You beat us in front of you, and they've beaten us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think they only lost one.
The game they lost was at Anfield, and they hit the woodwork 2 or 3 times in that game.
Yeah, but also in that Villa Park, I think they only lost one season once at home all last season in all competitions, and that was against Arsenal in the opening game of the season. I think that was the only loss they had there. You're right; they've won 5 of their last 6, beating City. At Liverpool, they just decided to not do what everyone else did and decided to play in front of them and gave the ball away. But you're right; they hit the post loads. And it's also odd that we seem to always be playing the informed team like Liverpool, City, Sunderland, Chelsea, Villa. We've got Everton in 2 weeks and they're flying high. Why is it that we're...
Well, Steph threw up this stat 2 pods ago, which is really haunting me.
Yeah.
He said the only points this is before the Chelsea game, the only points we've dropped this season are against teams who were in the top 4 at the time we played them.
Yeah.
So Villa and Everton are 5th. It's like, how on earth can we ensure that Everton are not in the top 4 when we play them in a couple of weeks' time? I mean, come on, help us out.
Well, I've got a question about that in a minute, but the other thing, this was such an un-Arsenal game, just purely because I said it, because I did the XG thing and I showed it. How many chances did we go up, and how many big chances? I mean, that the Ollie Watkins one in the first, that's the biggest chance we've given away all season. He then also had a similar chance in the second half. If it wasn't for Raya, he kept us in it. So that is so un-Arsenal, because even then we either control games so we don't let teams near our half, near our goal, or we're so solid defensively that even if they do have it, a bit like Bayern, there's nowhere for them to go. But yesterday, we just gave up so many chances, and that was just so un-Arsenal. And Arteta must have hated that, because it is, the analogy of a basketball game. But it did end like that. Villa were getting through our midfield or bypassing midfield so easily. So, and this was the other thing I want to call out: our midfield off the ball work, other than Rice, wasn't great. Wasn't great. There was one moment, and again I wanted to pick this up, and I wrote this down. Was Odegaard watched his player just run past, and he sort of ran parallel to him, behind him, and then, well, great. So people are going to complain about our defence, but if our midfield are not doing their off the ball work, the defence are going to be in trouble, and they're going to be put under pressure. And this is not Saliba and Gabriel being put under pressure, which is fine. This is a new formation, people playing out of position and stuff like that. So again, there's lots of knock-on effects to how that game happened and how it panned out. I still don't think we deserve to lose, because to get last kick of the game, I think we did enough to draw. I don't think we did enough to win. But
Villa were doing more than us to win the game.
Yeah.
I still think a draw would have been a good result and a slightly fairer result.
Yeah.
But Villa were doing, and fortune favours the brave, perhaps. But we've got a midfield. We've got a midfield who haven't had a rest.
Yeah.
And like I said, not half jokingly for the ahead of the Bayern game, play the kids. Chelsea game is more important.
Yeah.
After we beat Spurs, it's like we need. I mean, Rice and Zubimendi. Zubimendi had I think he didn't start one game quite recently. I can't remember.
Well, it was the one, and then he had to come on because Odegaard. It was the West Ham game, and he was rested for that, and then Odegaard gets injured, so he comes on a bit like.
But also, Odegaard's only back. He's 2 months out, and he's only back 2 or 3 games. He has to have run out of puff in that game, as fit as he is, and he is extraordinarily fit. He can't. He's not robotic. It's the same with like Ben White at right back.
Yeah.
Even Timber hasn't had a break. Timber had a rest, and then he had to come on for.
Yeah, exactly. Just typical. Well, that's the thing. It's all these knock-on effects. And again, we're not trying to make excuses. It's just a case of giving an explanation in terms of how the knock-on effect, how simple, small little things can just have a knock-on effect. So, and look, there's 2 things. We've got this great squad, and we're great that we're leaning into it. Well, thank God we have. But however, because of injuries, players aren't getting rested how they should be, and it's just
okay.
This
Hang on.
effect.
Why didn't Norgard play against Brentford?
Well, I was going to raise that one. Why didn't Norgard come on and think, okay, game state, let's settle for the win? I don't know. Maybe he's seen him and doesn't trust him. Maybe he's seen him in training and think,
captain of Brentford. Sorry, if what you're seeing from a player means you don't trust them, you didn't do your research on that player beforehand.
It can happen, or maybe we know sometimes, or maybe he thought, no, I'm going to go for it. I'd rather try and get 3 points and if we lose, then we lose. And so maybe he's just thinking, I'm not going to settle. I think there's maybe an opportunity there.
That's all on Arteta. I mean, my issue with Arteta, I think the last thing that he has to, in-game management, he's a lot better at dealing with. He's improved on that, but it's actual rotation.
Yeah.
He's breaking players. Now, you cannot legislate for Mosquera's injury or Odegaard's injury for that matter.
No.
But we don't know what the Saliba injury was. But pretty much every other injury is muscular. And that's from overplay. Now, I know Gyökeres, ironically, was rested for the midweek game, and then he got his hamstring injury in the Burnley game, but followed that. But it's, for me, Norgard should have started against Brentford. Of all the games, and especially when you saw Brentford's lineup and they'd rested their 3 best players on the bench. I mean, again, we've got Bruges away on Wednesday, and I don't want to see Rice or Zubimendi. And this is ridiculous because I know he'll play both of them, and then complain that we've run out of energy in the last 20 minutes. And I know we got Wolves on the weekend, and then we've got a week off before Everton. So I know it eases up a little bit before it kicks off again, but we don't want them broken by then.
No. Yeah, it's I think you're right. We'll get onto Bruges in a few minutes, but. Again, it's knock-on effects. Maybe a game too far. I don't think we deserve to lose. But you say credit to Villa. Tough game, and sometimes shit happens. We did it to Newcastle, and okay. So then there's this question, and we'll get onto the league. But I do have one question for you. So is it okay? So we are still top of the league. Okay, granted. 2 points to Man City. The goal difference is now equal. Aston Villa are third on 30 points. So we got 33, City 31, 30. Then there's a bit of a gap to Chelsea on 25, Everton on 24, etc., etc., etc. Then a group on 23, 22. Are these... So, look, we're still in a good position. As I said at the beginning of the pod, we've got 3 more points after 15 games than City did when they were Centurions. Again, doesn't mean anything. And we've played Villa away, we've played Chelsea away, we've played United, Newcastle, Sunderland, Fulham, away. I think that's 14 points from a possible 18 or something like that. So, and the other teams have to go to these places, or they haven't done as much as we had. So we've had a pretty difficult strength of schedule there to deal with, especially away. We've had these clusters. Maybe we're just going through our low point in December. Every season has their ups and downs, and we're not just going to be taking everything, and winning everything and so on. So maybe December, end of November, beginning of December is our sort of low point, and we pick it back up again. However, games like Chelsea against 10 men, games like Sunderland, you're winning with a minute to go. Games like yesterday, do champions lose those sort of games or not win them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go. Simple. There you go.
Simple
Move on.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that if you look back at the majority of champions over the last few years, you'll find games where they've dropped points in late on. I remember Man City. Was it Brentford away? And Haaland missed an open goal, and it's like, and they're chasing us down that season. In the 90th minute, open goal missed to win the game. It's like, and people saying, if they were going to win the league, they'd be scoring those, they'd be taking those chances. I mean, like it's football. It happens. It's disappointing. We've dropped 4? Would that be 3 points from those two games, Sunderland and yesterday. We lost 2 points at Sunderland, 1 yesterday, so 3 points. But no, I'm not.
You're still hopeful. You're still on track. You're still hopeful.
We're in a bloody great position.
Okay. No
one has swapped with us.
No, I don't.
Sorry, I wouldn't have swapped with anybody else. Everybody would swap with us.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. It just gets it's that one thing. Great squad, but unless we can have our best players playing, we're not winning anything. And that's my fear, is that are we able to ever actually get to see injuries happen? Other teams suffer from injuries.
Look at Man City haven't had Rodri.
Yeah, but that's one play. Yeah, but they're not relying on him. And actually, I think in the last podcast, Kusova said that actually statistically they're currently better without him than with him. Come back to me and say they're without Haaland, and then that's a bit different story. But
they wouldn't be shipping the goals they're shipping if Rodri was in the team.
Yeah, maybe. Well, look, we'll see. As you said, we're top of the league. We keep saying, when we get our players back. And we will need them back if we want to win stuff this season. So,
well, look, on that, we're very close to having a fully fit squad. If we trust Arteta at his word, Saliba will be available for the next game. The only players we'll be missing will be Gabriel and Havertz. Now, we can get bogged down in all these bloody injuries, but if you're missing only Gabriel and Havertz isn't even a guaranteed starter, you're missing one of your starters, one of your guaranteed starters. That's a pretty healthy squad.
Yeah. I'm just fearful of the knock-on effect of having to get this far without the players that we've had.
We're top.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, that's it. If Saliba's back,
I'm normally very positive. I'm
injuries is not. Look at the bench we had yesterday. We should have been better in an attacking sense. We should have scored more goals than we scored yesterday.
Yeah.
And the defence wouldn't have mattered. That last minute scramble wouldn't have counted, wouldn't have existed, because we'd have been 2 goals to the good and Villa wouldn't have been bothered because the game was done. It was 30 seconds from the end of the match. But name the players we had starting and then look at the players on the bench. Injuries is not why we lost that game. So let's not, it is making excuses, so let's stop.
Okay, fair enough. Right. Anyway, moving on to the 3-word reviews. So thank you for everyone who sent those through on Blue Sky.
Can we go with mine first, just because of what
I will do yours first, but so thank you for sending those in, and apologies if I get your name wrong. So Holly from the Growth Podcast.
So just because football is all about contradictions, ignoring what I've just said, my 3 words are must stay fit.
Very good. Thank you, Holly, for your contribution. Yes, I know. I agree, but it is down to the point. If we don't stay fit, we don't have our best players playing. It makes things very, very hard. We do really well, but to win the big trophies, you do that with your best players.
Look at yesterday's fixtures. No team won away. Winning away is hard in the Premier League.
Oh yeah, and winning away at hard to Villa is bloody hard.
The hardest almost.
Yeah, at the moment. So okay. Anyway, so from Blue Sky, Mr. C the Gooner, thank you. Must bounce back. Yes, I'm sure he will. Sid Silk, a game too far. I think it did feel like that. Then on to X.
That's 4 words. That's cheating.
Game too far.
You said a game too far.
Oh, right, game too far.
I think you can change the rules, mate.
It is game too far. All right, I will be literal. Okay, dubs for Sam. Accept and reset. That's on X. And Arsenal canon picks of this parish. On to my theme: injuries killing us. They are killing us. I think it's the knock-on effect. I think in an individual game, I think you're right. It's the accumulation.
It's a bit defeatist. We're top. Let's be more positive and upbeat. Come on.
Okay.
You wanted this to be cathartic.
Oh no, I haven't finished yet. GG Guna, learn, move on. Indeed. So that's an XO on Threads. Sam 13 draws. Always hated Villa. I'm with you on that one. James Blackwell comedy. Trust the process. Now I couldn't work out if that was tagging in cheek or if we meant it. So that's good. That's
good. That's good. That's positive. That's like, look, it's a hiccup. Move on. We're okay.
Move on. Okay. The Johnny Man defense looked tired. They did a bit. Then we go. Longo _Don. WWW next 3. So, it took me a while to work out. That's win next 3. Yep, we'll do that.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was trying to work out, is that some sort of wrestling or world wildlife?
He's playing about with the. He's playing loose with the rules there. That first word.
The rules are very, very loose on this one. Deschamps, Gilles, boys hurry back. Paul Latham Dignity 18, villains rob gunners. I like that one. I think that's pretty good. And the Mayaka, we move on. So thank you for those on Threads. And then finally on TikTok. And welcome to a few Villa fans. You're not going to be listening to this, obviously, but Mark Letman, bass player. Well done, Villa. Darren's 721, passive sideways show. I'm not sure about that. But there we go. I think I agree with this one. Tattooed Tarmakin, I think that it says, lacking composure, clinical. I think, yes, we could have done better with our chances. I think there was a few. I think there was one with White. We were finding the goalkeeper, shall we say, very easily with our shots, and we had chances. Nick Laguna, here we go. Here's positivity. Do not panic.
Well done, Nick.
There we go. Jade, B61s, have Emery Christmas. Have Emery Christmas. Sorry. Have Emery Christmas. Very good. Malk Marsh up the Villa, and Pop Spikes up the Villa with a bunch of blue and claret hearts. And finally for me, just boot it. That's all I wanted yesterday, just boot it. So there we go. So there you go. Thank you for those. I appreciate them. Yeah. And so, right, do you have 5 minutes for Bruges away? Go for it. Right.
I've not thought about it.
All right, don't worry, there's not a lot of thinking to do. So, game week 6, Champions League, Bruges away, 8 o'clock on Wednesday. We are currently top of the league, played 5, won 5, goals 14 against 1. Behind us is PSG on 12 points, Inter Milan on 12, and Bayern Munich on 12, and Real Madrid on 12. So, and they've got, I think, Man City midweek. So we're doing pretty good there. And as for Bruges, they are in 27th place on 4 points, 1-1, drew 1, lost 3, scored 8, let in 13. So I think that speaks a lot about the respective teams.
Wait. Do you know there are 2 home games in the Champions League?
Yeah, I will get to that. I will get to their record.
They're not going to be the walkover people seem to think they're going to be.
I don't think so. I don't think you're right. So their results so far have been the opening game of the season. So they qualified by beating stuffing Rangers 9-1 on aggregate in the playoffs, and then they beat Monaco 4-1 at home. They lost 2-1 away to Atalanta. They lost 4-0 away to Bayern Munich, and then they drew 3-3 at home against Barcelona. But then Barcelona can be a bit of a joke. I mean, they lost to Chelsea, and they lost against Sporting Lisbon away 3-0. So yes and no. Okay, they gave Barcelona a bit of a run for their money, but I'm assuming Barcelona didn't have any players, and they were playing Ange ball again.
They did lead 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2 in that game, Bruges. So they were pegged back by Barca.
Okay. Yeah, but what are you looking forward to and not looking forward to as far as this game's concerned?
Well, I really we're on 15 points. The received wisdom is that 16 points will be enough to get you into the top 8. So we're one win away from securing that top 8, which is the first priority. Obviously, the higher you go, you guarantee now this season, unlike last season, you guarantee home leg second in the knockout stages.
There is the thing that I think if you finish the top two, if you finish top two, the top two avoid each other till the final. And I think you're guaranteed home legs all the way as well. So finishing top 2 is quite important.
Yeah.
Or it has a big benefit.
Bruges also have lost their last 2 league games, and they're second in their league or third now in their league. They lost last night.
Yeah, a late winner by.
We feel your pain, Bruges. We feel your pain. Listen. I don't care about it. I couldn't care less about this game. I know I said similar before the Bayern Munich game. I didn't care about that game either, which is mad because listen, I know the players don't agree with this, and there's some Arsenal fans who get quite cross with me for saying this, but I don't care about the Champions League. I only care
that extent. Okay,
I only care about the Premier League.
Okay.
I want to win the Premier League. If you offer me Premier League and Champions League, it's the Premier League all day long. Simple as that. Now, I know the players don't agree with that they would rather win both, but actually pushed, the overseas players might actually opt for the Champions League. It's got the more of the glory for sure.
Worldwide, if you win the Champions League, there's more credibility across the world with that than winning the domestic league.
Because if from the second that Porto won it with Mourinho, that tells you all.
That
it's
should
a
have been
cup
us.
competition.
Don't talk about that one.
Right?
That's always the worst one to reference, because not only should we have won that one, Mourinho wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. So look, we've got Wolves at home, late kickoff on Saturday, so it's not a massive game. So I think there'll be less rotation than realistically I would have wanted. But and again, player availability means certain players will have to play. Like Ben White cannot play 3 games, 90 minutes after being out for so long. So, you've got to think Timber's going to end up playing again at right back with Saliba coming in.
Okay, so then what is the lineup? You reckon Saliba's back, or do we have to play Salmon? Or would you play Salmon?
No, I wouldn't. So I wouldn't play Salmon. So play Salmon. I'd like to see him on the bench yesterday. But I think that's a home game. If it was a home against Bruges, then you might think about it. But even then, no, it's different. You can destroy a 16-year-old's career if they're a centre-back. Different playing a Max Dowman or a Ranieri, a 15, 16-year-old attacking player, because they're not going to cost you a goal. Whereas you play a centre-back, and if a centre-back gets shown up or makes a mistake and it leads to a goal, then there's no hiding place. And that can be tough for a 16-year-old.
Well, look at Heaven. I mean, he's a bit older, but look at Heaven at Man United.
Yeah, he's not doing...
And look how they're ruining him.
Yeah. So I really don't want... Odegaard should have started against Brentford. I really hope he plays. I don't want Zubimendi starting the game. I don't want Rice starting the game. He had that little calf issue that brought him off against Brentford after 82, 84 minutes, wherever it was. That's a stress injury, overplaying injury. He needs to be benched for the start of this game.
I don't even want him on the plane. Just don't take him.
No, absolutely. So, a front three of Madueke, Gyökeres, who needs minutes, and Martinelli, brilliant. Yeah. Play Ranieri instead of Odegaard because he's had a long time out. He's played a couple of games, high-intensity games. He needs not to be playing, starting this game. Norgard, and I'd maybe Marino because he only
I
had
think
half
Marino
a game before dropping back into.
Yeah.
We've got a squad. We've got a fantastic squad. Let's bloody well use it.
Would you play Kepa over Raya?
I mean, the goalkeeper's less for me. I mean, Raya played brilliantly against Villa.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with. I mean, to keep Kepa on his toes.
Yeah.
I like Kepa. I think I think we've got the best number 2, and I've no issue if I see Kepa in the starting position. I just think it's if you've got Nkapie and maybe Timber. If Saliba's back, then maybe different. You want that authority behind them. They're used to playing with these. Too many cooks there, perhaps, or too many changes rather. Calafiori obviously won't be playing against
get MLS
Wolves,
in there,
so he could.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He could play, but I mean, having said that, it's more of a reason to play Lewis Skelly.
Yes.
So he's up to speed in the Wolves.
Because he's definitely shown a lot of rustiness and stuff like that. So I think but then, God. Touching for Mike, can you imagine if he went down, then what would happen? So,
Timber.
Yeah, so, what, MLS or Timber?
Timber
anyway. No, but then who's playing right back? He can't play three positions.
The thing is, he can. He's good enough.
We'll just play with 10 men, against Wolves. Just rotation. That's what we expect. And
do you think he'll do that?
Yes, I think he's not stupid.
Oh, right, okay, right. I want to come back here next week and have this.
It's Bruges away. Well, did you see how? Yeah, because also but that's every game in the Premier League is bloody hard. Bruges away, and also we've got Kairat Almighty or Almaty, whatever, in the last game. So that's an insurance policy there. But he knows what we've been through, where we've come, and going away to Bruges. He knows their record. He'll have them on the bench. I'm joking. Rice will travel. He'll be on the bench. I think Zubimendi will be on the bench. And what he'll do, he'll bring them on. Because of that, it's better to bring them on and play a game than training. So it's again that sort of like enhanced training sort of session, because just to keep them keep them on the toes, so to speak. So no, I think he's wise enough. He'll treat it like a Carabao Cup game. He does the Carabao Cups like this. Bruges.
He won't. Have you not been watching this man?
No, but
your club for 6 years.
I reckon he'll treat it like Carabao Cup. I don't think. I think you're right. I think the front line is right. Well, that's actually not a bad front line. If you go Martinelli, Madueke, and Gyökeres, that's fine.
I've just written down the team that I've just written down the team.
He's not playing Rice. He's not playing Rice.
This is the team that I've just written down.
Yeah.
Raya, Timber, Saliba, and Saliba is a big question mark because I don't know if he's fit. So it could be Timber and White in those two positions. But Nkapie, Lewis Skelly, Odegaard, Marino, Ranieri, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Martinelli. Not a cat's chance in hell. Is that right? Is that what I don't know. Is that team going to start? I'd love it. I will come back on here and eat my hat.
So what do you think? Oh, you can send a voice note. There you go. What is it? What is it that you think he will? Okay, so what do you think Arteta's team's going to be?
Right, so he's going to play Zubimendi and Rice.
No.
He might play Ranieri. I doubt it. He'll probably play Eze could play there instead of Odegaard. I think Saka will start the game instead of Madueke. I think Madueke might be on the left, Martinelli on the bench, and Gyökeres I think might start up front just to get minutes in.
Who was the Spanish team we played last year? The small one, I've forgotten now, away, and we even played Neto in goal. Well,
but we'd already there was the position. Was that?
But as you said, we practically qualified anyway. We've got Kairat at home, so we're practically there. Yeah, I don't know. Look, we'll see. I think he cannot. It would be. He'll be negligent.
I've said that many times about.
It'll be negligence to play Rice. It'll be negligent to play Rice.
I've used that word. That is negligent with regards to Arteta and rotation.
And anyone else, fine. And even Saka. But look, the fact that he's started to... Look, okay, what about the fact he took Saka off against Bayern Munich?
Well, Saka hasn't played well. He's not been playing like he's efficient still. He's still getting... But his final ball isn't great. Yesterday, again, he overhit a couple of crosses that went
but
out.
Who else is doing? Yeah, but he's still the only one actually doing anything.
No, he's talking about Saka. You're talking about Saka. Yeah. So I can see, I'm glad Madueke's been getting 10, 15 minutes on the right-hand side in games. I think that's important. Saka needs to find his form again, and so he's doing that like gradually. I still have Saka in my starting in a big game. Saka's in my starting 11. Obviously, first name on the team sheet.
Of course. All right. Well, let's see. We'll find out at I don't know, 6:45.
Is it the same? Is it the same in Europe? An hour
or 6:30? I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. We'll find out in a couple of days' time who's right. And by the way, listeners, this is exactly how it is when we meet face to face. All the other stuff beforehand, all the niceties, that's all very pleasant and stuff. This ding dong here is exactly how it goes when we meet face to face at the Emirates.
Well, yes. If you still insist on saying that referees are nice, I'm like, no.
I didn't say they're nice. Well, oh my god, it was all right. Oh yeah, against Tottenham. yeah. Yes, he's doing the reel him in. Thank you, Holly. Right, okay, good. Look, sticking to the format. Anyway, I'm looking forward to just seeing Arsenal play. I'm looking forward to seeing a fully rotated team. I'm looking forward to seeing Rice sitting on his ass. I'm not looking forward to Holly being right. So there we go.
What's your score?
My prediction 2-0. Just hopefully just a boring 2-0. Just get in, get out. Yeah. What about you?
I just can't ever predict it's a clean sheet. It just goes against 3-1, a 3-1 win.
3-1. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I said we don't know. I did look up the Bruges players trying to find some connection.
There's no one.
No, Simon Mignolet. I think he's third choice goalkeeper.
He wasn't on I didn't see him. Yeah,
I saw him on FOTMob. I think he was there, so maybe he's coaching staff. So he's the only one that I recognise. Apart from that, we don't know. And look, as you said, I think they're currently third in the Belgian league. But yeah, they've played like 17 games. You know, they've lost 5 already this season. This is in the Belgian league. We've seen their Champions League form. Come on, Arsenal! Even with a rotated squad, we should be too good. And even if they gave Barcelona a game, that suggests that more to me suggests how Barcelona played than how Bruges played. So we're going in, win, get out, no injuries, bring on Wolves.
But they beat Monaco 4-1 in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, but we're in Monaco. I don't think
Arteta will view this game. He'll see it as, we win this game, we've qualified.
Monaco are 23rd. They've only won one game. And that was the first game.
That's because Bruges beat them in the first game. It ruined them. Yeah. You see?
All right. Anyway, we're winning it. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to your voice note and the amount of messages I get when Rice is... Right, I'm just expecting an emoji.
I will just send you a screenshot of the team. That's it, with that comment.
No words, or a bowl of the bowl of rice emoji. There we go. Okay, well look, it wasn't epic. 62 minutes, still a bit longer than your liking, but it's more in tune with what we do here at the Grove. So and given our retention levels, it's not doing too badly on that. Anyway, so there we go. Look, Holly, thank you for your Trossard-esque performance, stepping into the breach when others have fallen away. Remind us again if you can, otherwise I can read out. Where can people find you?
Oh, at the North Bank Pod. Is it the North Bank Pod?
No, you don't even know. This is what's confused you. Your email address is at the North Bank AFC, but your handle is at North Bank Pod.
There you go, at North Bank Pod. Yeah. I do know this.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
You need one of these next to you.
I have. Look, I have, but I just keep forgetting to look at it.
Look at it. All right. Anyway, look, go and have a listen to Holly, Steph, and Chris. It's a good listen, but obviously after you listen to us, as I said, you can find us on Blue Sky, Threads, X, TikTok, Insta-ish, at the Grove AFC. Leave us a nice little comment and a rating on the podcast apps. Appreciate it. It helps with the algos. And next show will be post Bruges, pre Wolves. And there you go. So I feel better for that. A little bit of catharsis. Thank you for helping me spend an hour cheering me up with your positivity. Normally I'm the one having to dish that out. So I appreciate someone lifting me up.
I see it. Are you going to Wolves?
I am going to Wolves. So we'll see you block 6, and I'll be bringing my son along. He'll be back from university. So,
excellent.
So there we go. All right. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And until the next time, come on, you Gunners.